Hi Gaynor.
Hi Karen, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. Say that sort of, it's freezing, isn't it? Absolutely freezing.
So bitter. I have my trusty cup of tea to keep me warm.
Oh, lucky you.
Don't know whether to cuddle it or drink it.
Well, my studio radiator, I'm leaning on it here. Sort of keeping warm permanently.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you like...
Have you got snow?
Well, no, we've had flurries, but
yeah, we have
no,
too.
we're in that bit, we're just on the west, aren't we? So a bit further west than you. So have you?
Yeah. The same, just flurries, luckily. So it's not too bad, but it's freezing cold. So it's all right. We'll get there.
Absolutely. Do you like...
So I can see you really
can.
clearly.
I was going to say, did you notice? I've got a new webcam.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're all shiny and bright.
I know.
I can see even better without my glasses on, actually.
It's even, though it's much clearer, so people can see how dreadful the lockdown hair is getting.
Oh my God. I feel like a hippie. It's just, yeah, I'm starting to look like the dog. One of those owners that looks like a scruffy pup. That's me. Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, yeah. Well, what we're going to talk about today. You sent through a list and you said, one thing, finding a community. What do you mean?
Well, I think many of us have kind of worked in isolation before lockdown. We all, being an artist, it's a solitary thing. And I'm lucky enough that I've made some connections that are really valuable. And that community is, well, I've got several, but they all kind of, Venn diagram, have a little overlap here and there.
Yeah.
And that's, I have the accountability call with you and Gina every Monday, and we're part of a bigger group, which is Camp Valley Artists, which you and Gina are actually very active members of, and I dip in and out of. And then we've also got a community that we have within 44AD, that, the Bath Humbug groups, where we met other artists and we stay in touch. And it might only be through Instagram, but it's another community, and we touch base with each other and we keep in touch, and it's really inspiring to see what other people are doing, even if it is just on Instagram or whatever. And then we have the wider one of Louise Fletcher's Art Tribe, Your Art Tribe. So that's another community. I'm also part, which I don't dip into so much now, of Róisín O'Farrell, who is an Irish artist, and she also has a Facebook group for people who've been involved in her courses and things. And I, as I've mentioned before, I did her business course over 12 months ago now. And all those different groups feed me in different ways and keep me nurtured, because I am naturally, I know I come across as quite loud, but I am quite naturally introverted, and I would just, if there was a cave to be had, I would be in the cave as long as it was warm. And never really see anybody. So this is even kind of showing work. I love it when I get there, but the thought fills me with dread because it's so peoply. There's so many people out there, and it's just like, people. And I know that you and Gina have laughed at me on occasions when I've said, when you've said, do you teach? And I'm like, no, because that involves talking to people, and I don't do that. So it's that whole thing of, even though I'm an introvert, I enjoy touching base with people who I am inspired by or really enjoy their company. It's that thing of community. Sorry, great spiel.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, it did surprise me that you didn't want to do workshops, because to me, you're very easy to talk to, and
that's because I like you.
Well, that's all right then. Just as well. But I know what you mean about having creating a network, because being an artist is quite a solitary profession, really.
Incredibly.
Sort of stuck on your own, and you could, I suppose, especially if you're just starting out and you're not used to it, you could have sort of doubt yourself, or struggle along, not realizing there's a wealth of information out there that you can learn from other people.
100%.
and all the support you get, even if it is people you've never met, particularly with the groups like the Art Tribe group. I've never met a lot of them. Well, majority I'd say is probably a handful that I actually have met through other groups, and a lot of them are just really encouraging, or you know, give you ideas and prompts, and you know, somebody might sort of say, oh, how do I do this, or what was it that somebody said they used to protect a painting, and then you'd get a flurry of answers, whereas you could sit on your own with a computer trying to YouTube it, and you know,
it's different,
not sure whether you're actually looking at the right thing, or has anybody else done it before. I suppose there's two elements, isn't it? The value is, one, emotionally it's really valuable, and then also in terms of experience and expertise in the particular profession, is really useful.
Totally. And I think that, you know, especially when you kind of come out of your studio and you're prepared to sell in public, which isn't something that comes naturally to most people, let's face it. Even if you're super comfortable out in the world, it doesn't necessarily come, and having that, you know, having people who've been there or can back you up, or just say, yeah, you can do this, it's all good, you know, what's the worst that can happen, you know, even if it's just a little pep talk, it really makes a difference. And you know, it's, I don't know, had I not found so many like-minded people who are supportive, I mean, you know, the group in 44 AD, the first time I did the Bath Humbug, and I turned up, and I will mention you and Shuya and Polly were in the same room as me in a shared space, and you had ladders and measuring tapes, and you brought your hammers and your drills and your thing to put, and you knew, and Shuya, oh my goodness, she has a map of where everything's going, and she brought her lines, you know, the drop string lines, and immaculate. And I stood there like a deer in headlights thinking, oh my God, can I do this? Should I just run away? I'm not professional like these people. But actually, you just all went, oh, right, do you need a ladder? Here you go. Oh, do you need a hammer? Yes, let me get a hammer for you. And, you know, Katie O'Brien, just lovely, just took over and said, do you want me to just curate your space for you? And I was like, yes, please. And she did it. And that's what I mean by community. It's just, you look and you don't even need to ask a lot of the time. People just step in to help. And, you know, that's kept me going, you know, even through, you know, some kind of troubling times, like I can't be there tomorrow. And you said, well, I'll do it. I mean, this is how we met, you and I. You know, you stepped up for me when I needed a bit of extra support. And that, you know, these, you know, you were all people I didn't know. And now you're, you know, here we are, weekly. And that's the community. It's kind of, it's, yes, it may well be the advice on painting, or have you tried this medium, or you'll get this effect from doing that, and have you tried this art fair? It's all of those things businessy, but it's also the unspoken.
I always like the fact that you've got a ready-made group of people that you can say, or get excited with, say, oh, did you know there's a new exhibition on at, you know, do you want to go? And rather than going to your other half and saying, well, I want to go, and they're sort of like, oh, really?
Oh, all right then. I'll sit outside with a coffee.
Yeah, I'll drop you off, you know, that sort of thing. Whereas, you know, you can go round and enjoy it. I mean, the last one we went to was the one in
French.
Yes,
the French bloke in the Victoria Art Gallery.
Exactly, and I'm losing the plot, and I'll remember it in a minute. But
we'll put the link in.
And that was the last exhibition we went to.
Yeah, it was
February before lockdown last year, and you know, it was brilliant because we could go and have a laugh and, you know, muck around and try the hats on, and
And actually just, it's that thing when you go to a gallery and your other half goes, oh, these are all nice, and they wander on, and you want to just stand in front of one painting and absorb it and then look close and go, how did they do that? And, the husband, in my case, darling Stevie J, wanders off and goes, well, I'll be in the shop or in the cafe. I'll meet you there in 5. Okay. Because he knows I need the space. Yeah, he knows I need the space and the kind of adoration moment. Whereas he's kind of appreciated what he needs to appreciate. And so, but with you, I can go, oh my God, have you seen this brush stroke? And do all the arty things. And think, oh my God.
Sort of get excited about it.
Yeah. So that network is just, and you've opened that up to me. You introduced me to Cam Valley, and Louise Fletcher's art tribe, actually. So you've opened a lot of doors for me. I think because you introduced me to the Art Juice podcast.
Oh, that's Gina's fault then, because Gina introduced me to the podcast. Timely,
right?
Because I'd never heard of it before lockdown. Well, she'd mentioned it just before lockdown.
Yeah.
But I wasn't technical at all. I didn't know how to get podcasts on my phone or anything. But you learn very quickly how to do it.
Totally.
Gina's been brilliant with sort of
yes.
Thing.
Yeah.
And suggesting other things like that.
And actually, even a podcast becomes kind of a community, because other people are listening and getting the same or similar vibe from it. You feel like you're part of a group listening to this podcast, and it's really nice.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it is. So what does community mean to you? And how, well, actually, I want to ask you about Cam Valley, because weren't you one of the founding members or the founding member of the Cam Valley Arts trial?
Yeah, I put my hands up to that one. I moved when I moved.
You deliberately created a community.
I did, because it was lacking when I moved to the village. Because I used to live in Bristol, and there were lots of art events. It's more art events that I was part of, sort of like the Front Room Art Trail, the one in Toscan each year. And then coming to the village, there was just nothing. I didn't know if there were any art groups, or certainly there were art trails, but at the time I was told that, well, no, you live just outside of the catchment for this one, and we don't accept anybody in this side. And I thought, well, there must be other artists like me. So I put a little note in the local freebie paper saying, calling all artists. And it's amazing how many artists came out of the woodwork. And some of them are still around. I mean, a lot of the committee are still there. I think we're sort of into our 8th year now.
That's amazing.
Still there, or it might be we'll come up for a 9th event or 8. Anyway, I'll count it up anyway. It's long, 8 or 9 years now. And it was just, you realise there was all these individual artists, even in my village, that you didn't know, you wouldn't have come across. And we wouldn't even...
So what would you say you are glad you did it, or is it been what you wanted it to be?
Yes, it is. It evolves. It started off that I was just going to set up an arts trail, and rather than a community. So just a base where people could share their work and sort of show what they do and get some money maybe, so they can keep painting or whatever they did. And that event went so well, and we ran little taster workshops, and we realized there was a need in the community itself, that people were really interested to see how things, how they worked. How do you create something? How does an artist go about something? And then I think it was, so we hold the event in November, and the following sort of January, we were getting so much sort of feedback from the artists that took part, saying, oh, we don't want to stop, we want to carry on, that we thought we'd have a group. And so we started to build on the group side of it, and started to represent the artists and support the artists. And so there were 2 arms. There's the arts trail, and then there was also the support, the network of like-minded people in the area that you could sort of team up with, or chat to and get to know. And I've got a huge circle of friends now. People I'd call friends rather than fellow artists.
Yeah.
Purely because what I set up, and also it's gone on to, for example, a few of us sort of maybe are more inclined to selling our work, are more on the professional end rather than sort of just doing it as a hobbyist. Sort of actively, sharing ideas for sales and events, and maybe sharing halls together to sort of show our work. And that's been really good to actually do that. But with this year, this lockdown and not being able to physically meet up, we've been running Zoom meetings for members. Just, I suppose you probably get the same sort of numbers of people turning up. So that is lovely, and it's lovely to see people again. And we've been doing things like sort of little Cam Valley challenges, just so that you feel sort of still part of a group. Yeah,
so still that unity.
Yeah, and still that you're allowed to create, and it doesn't matter what you create. It's just so that you're sort of, I suppose, your well-being. But I suppose you have an interest as a group. You have an interest in each other in terms of making sure everyone's okay. And pottering along. It's not sort of just, have you sold anything or anything like that. It's more sort of, what have you been up to? Have you sort of been able to feel like you can create? So no, it's a good group, but it's a lot of time.
Yeah, I the Cam Valley thing, I absolutely applaud you for that. And I would encourage anybody who, even an introvert like me, who is new to an area or new to art and actually exhibiting, to find a group in your area, even one that you think, oh my God, they all know each other and I won't. Go for it, because it makes such a difference to both your practice and your artist's life, if you like. The way you come across and what you learn from others is invaluable. So yeah, that's what I'd say about Cam Valley. I really do applaud you. Sorry, the dog's just come into the room to get her toys, which is always lovely. She's wandered out again with a rope.
Brilliant.
Oh, the joys of doggy motherhood.
Yeah, no, this is what you need a vlog for, isn't it? All the interruptions.
Yeah. At least I'm not on BBC News or whatever, or like that guy did this week, doing a Zoom call and put a cat filter on. Bless him.
There's always something that's going to happen. But
you can guarantee it.
Yeah.
So, moving away from the whole community thing onto online community. Are there any podcasts you'd recommend for other people to listen to? Because I love a good podcast, as you know.
Oh,
there's a few that we both listen to.
Yeah. Do you mean art-related ones or just general ones?
Well, either, I suppose.
There's various different ones that I listen to. I listen to Talk Art. I also listen to, hold on, I'm going to have to look in my library because I've got them all there.
So my speckies go back off.
I listen to No Such Thing as a Fish. I find that quite funny.
Would you like to explain that?
Not really, no.
Okay. That's even better, actually.
It's just I just find it really interesting.
Don't explain it.
Might be my sense of humour. Then there's The Messy Studio. That's another one. Oh, there was one about bees. Can I find it? Here we are. Queen Bees. And that was with Esther. Oh, as I try and find it. Previously played. Details. It started by accident. It's with Esther Coles and Jane Horrocks. So,
I like Jane Horrocks.
Yeah, and Esther Coles is a beekeeper, and so they did they set up a podcast about basically bees, and it's not just about bees, but it's all revolving around the bees. And I found it really sort of like a light-hearted sort of thing to listen to when you're just in the studio. Then there was there's various different bits that I've got in here that I've listened to. Some of them I don't know. I prefer the ones that don't have adverts halfway through.
Me too. I tell you what, there's I don't know if you have Audible, but I listen to audiobooks a lot, but they have some great free podcasts in Audible, if you remember. And one of them at the moment is Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French have done a series of 6 called Titting About. And it is everything for especially kind of women over the age of 30, I would say, and anybody under the age of 30 will understand us better for listening to it, because it talks about kind of childhood and different influences, and they're just giddy. And I can honestly say that I had to stop what I was doing to wipe my eyes because I was crying with laughter. So if you want a bit of lightheartedness, that's a recommendation. And actually, I love podcasts because, again, it gives me kind of a sense of community, because, it's like a secret society. Have you listened to this? And everybody goes, oh, no, I will, though. It's all that, people engage and get different things out of it. So, I do love it. Yeah, we will put the links in the notes as always with the different podcasts we listen to.
Yeah, I mean that's podcasts are sort of one online community, but the other one is we've seen all these online courses that have just coming up, sort of creating new communities of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got the Nicholas Wilton Art for Life taster course,
the freebie, the taster
one, and I think that starts
Gabriel Lipper.
Yeah, the Gabriel Lipper one.
They both start on the 15th, don't they? I think one's 3 days and one's 5 days.
Yeah, and they're different times, and you always have to convert the times because I never know how many hours behind they are to us. So,
but they're both based in the United States, aren't they?
Yeah, one's East Coast and the other one is
somewhere else.
Yeah.
God, we're so knowledgeable.
We are. But even now, I mean, they set up, I know the Nicholas Wilton one, they set up a Facebook group for people.
Yeah.
And there are 2 artists in the neighbouring village that are taking part. They mentioned.
No way.
Yeah, I know. So I put a little note saying, I'm just in, the next village. And Gina put in that she's just up the road as well. So that was, but there's been no response at all. So, I wonder if I'll come across this person in real life at some point.
Have you met previously? Do you know of them before?
No, know them.
Gosh, that's so interesting.
Or I'm not recognising the name because you have the surname and the tiny little profile picture, and you're sort of trying to work out who it is,
Yeah.
So I did think.
Yeah, you see, I've joined that Facebook group, and yet I haven't actually looked in it yet.
Well, I joined it, and then it said, "Say hello," and I thought, "Oh, I'll get round to that." And it was only because Gina posted something, and it came up as Gina posted something, and I saw it, and I thought, "Oh, right." So I've not read everything,
Yeah,
I think that's quite a nice online thing to actually look at. And then there's another course, isn't there, with Danny Gregory, which
there is.
I had an email this morning from the Louise Fletcher Art Tribe.
Yeah.
With a promotion, you could get his sketchbook school course, I think half price or something, which I thought, not bad.
It's a very good offer.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that email yet because I've been on calls this morning. But but being part of the Art Tribe, there's a Danny Gregory interview, isn't there, that I haven't listened to?
Yeah, that's really interesting. It makes it all seem so achievable, and that there's nothing there's nothing particularly difficult about having a sketchbook. It doesn't have to be good. That's what I thought was brilliant. Just draw, doesn't matter. And you know the way I use sketchbooks, and I say you can really remember everything about where you are. And he was saying he remembers smells, he remembers conversations that were being had next to him when he was sketching. And I thought, yeah, you do remember everything about it. It
really is. That moment in time is captured. Even, you know, I was drinking coffee, or you know, it's I was sitting by. I remember doing a sketchbook way back when. Gosh, it must be when Ben was small. So when my son was small. So it's got to be 23 or 4 years ago. And I can remember that we were sitting next to a honeysuckle. So it was summer, early summer, and there were so many honeybees around us. And that's a memory that's just so clear, and I can actually take myself back there. And yet that's because I was doing a sketchbook at that time. And actually he was drawing next to me as well, scribbling, which is always the way. But those memories really do become far more potent because of time and place. And I'm not particularly a sketchbook keeper. I mean, I do it periodically, and I want to get into that practice more and more. So maybe I'll look at the Danny Gregory course.
It did look really interesting, the way of sort of journaling, sort of remembering things. And he says that he's got sort of 30, well, not 30 years of sketchbooks, but he's got so many sketchbooks, and you think over the years, if every sketch is a memory and he does something every day, he should be able to remember something from every day of his life over the last few years. And I thought, that's amazing, really.
That is amazing. Whereas, you know, my sketchbook practice has been ad hoc.
Yeah, I have to admit, I do go out and sketch normally, but it has been so cold the last few days.
Yeah, it's bitter.
I just thought, no, I'll just stay warm in the studio painting. And
very, very wise, very wise. While we've been on our walk, I have taken a few photos. Because the thought of actually standing and sketching, I think I'd be a little frozen icicle by the end of it. So when does Danny Gregory's course start? Do we know?
I don't know. I only got the email, but I haven't actually looked into it yet. But I've wondered. I didn't know whether I'd actually have time to actually fit it in.
I know. Unfortunately, these are all kind of happening at the same time or similar times. And it's that ongoing commitment when you've actually got your own practice and work to do as well, unless you build it into your practice for that week.
Yeah.
It becomes about the course.
I know. And I was just thinking, sort of, with the 100-day project.
I was just going to ask you how that's going.
Oh, I'm doing all right. I did another one today. This is one I did today.
Oh, that's very nice. Oh, I like that.
So I've combined a bit of a photograph. Oops. Stuck on the top. Yeah, so this time I have a bit of realism at the top, but all the rest
I really like that
abstract
pattern. And it stays with your theme of kind of the bleak trees, you know, the silhouetted trees.
Oh yes, didn't think about that. But I sort of thought that's another one done. But when I sort of see how many,
I know it's adding up so quickly.
But yeah, it's really it will be really effective when you see it. But do you find? I mean, I found that I've been working on a painting with on canvas, sort of, and having to use a brush. And yesterday I was working on it, and everything seemed to be. I sort of stood back and I thought I'd been working in blocks of colour, a bit like you do when you do collage. And I thought,
interesting,
totally different to my normal work, totally. And I was thinking, why is? God, this is really different. What's happening here? And I thought, you know, and I was thinking, have I seen anybody doing any work like this? And I was thinking, no, not that I'm aware of, you know. And then I thought it must be, because every day I'm doing a collage, and it's
bringing out that side of you.
And because I have to use a brush and I have to apply the paint differently to what I normally do.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe that's doing it. So I thought we'll just go with it. It's very different.
Absolutely.
It might not sit amongst every other piece of work I'm doing at the moment, but you know.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, I love working on a canvas, as you know, but I've just bought some panels to work on.
Yeah.
So that'll challenge me and hopefully bring out a different side of me. I mean, that's the thing, is we're constantly evolving and changing, aren't we? So why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, why not? So what's this week holding for you?
Well, I've just done a couple of days in the studio, so I need to go and do some sort of more computery stuff. I need to set up a a workshop page on my website so that I can promote my websites, because that's all the dates are booked now. Oh, you always lose your voice when you're chatting so much. And then I thought I need to work out what photos I need to take for the actual promotional side of the so that's what I'm doing today. What about you?
Well, I'm, as well as doing the 100-day project, when I did I did Nicholas Wilton's Spark course back in November, but at the time I wasn't 100%, and I kind of went through the motions. So I thought, prior to his free workshop next week, I'd revisit the course. And so I'm halfway through it. I've been doing one module instead of one module a week, because I'm already kind of aware of what the plan is. I've been doing one a day.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like somebody else must have done it in November, because I didn't. So I'm getting a lot out of it, and it's really, it's been really good to get back to playing with paint and collage and doing all those nice practices that inspire you to do something different. And that's actually fed into the 100-day project for me. So actually, it's been a really nice week, because although I haven't done any work as such, I have been experiencing art at the fun end of it. So yeah, it's been a good week, and I'm going to finish that off. It's 5 days, so I'll probably finish it on the weekend actually, which will tie in nicely to go into the free workshop next week, which actually when we publish this will be live.
Oh right, that's true. Yes, there's a delay on this, isn't there?
Yeah.
See what we're doing. Who knows what I'll be doing next week?
So who knows whether or not we'll have achieved it. Yeah. Okay. Well, shall we leave it there for today? Because I think that's plenty to be going on with.
Yes, I mean, it's been a technical challenge day, and we've managed, and we've had interruptions with dogs and
husbands.
My voice is going, so we better leave it there.
3 challenges and out.
Yeah, 2 right. Anyway, so take care, and I'll see you.
Have a good week.
Take care. Bye.